इंजिनिअरिंग गेलो आधी नाही अरे आधी कॉपी मला माहित नव्हतं माहित होतं पण करत नव्हतो मी बिलकुलच तू शपथ रे
Guys, we can mute ourselves.
हिमांशु भी ज्वाइन है सर लगा मैं देख रही हूँ देखे है हिमांशु भी ज्वाइन है ना ना देखो ना बच्चे बोल रहे हैं माइक में दिखता है
Okay, guys, a very good morning to all of you. I'll be the trainer for the course PCNSE, PaloAlto PCNSE. My introduction, my name is Sanmay, and I have been part of Palo Alto Tech, and I've worked on professional services as well.
Your voice is surrounding.
I'm sorry?
Your voice is surrounding. I think there is
Is it the same for all of you?
No, sir.
Or is my voice clear?
No, sir. I'm getting clear. It's clear.
Okay. Maybe if you're having issues, just rejoin.
No, it happened once, but it's fine now.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so this will be the day one for the Palo Alto training. If you were part of the previous webinar, we covered the content that we will be covering in the entire course. So today we will be starting with the basics of Palo Alto, okay, and covering what Palo Networks is all about. If you have any questions in between, please feel free to ask them. And more importantly, why would you be listening to me, right? I am a certified consultant, okay? So there are some certifications that Palo Alto gives. One is PCNSA, the associate level. One is PCNSE, the advanced level certification. And there is one more certification, PCNSE. Can we all please mute ourselves? If you have any questions, you can unmute and then we can talk. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so another certification that Palo Alto offers for their consultants is a PCNSE. Okay, so I am a certified consultant, not just a PCNSE. I have cleared the CE certification twice. So I have a lot of experience with Palo Alto, and I have a lot of experience with networking devices. Been in the industry for 8+ years. Okay, so but there is a lot of things that Palo Alto Next-Gen Firewall can do, and what entire portfolio can do. And one person, a single person, cannot know all of it, to be honest. And if someone is saying you that, okay, I know entire thing of how this works, he might be lying. Okay, let me tell you honestly, he might be lying. Okay, so if in case I do not know any of your queries, I know how to find them out. Okay, I have resources. I know how to find them out. I'll be happy to find it out for you and answer them.
Yeah,
Okay,
hey,
so,
this is Clinton this side. Just want to know,
yeah, hi.
are we going to start the class from today onwards, or just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a minute?
Yes, this will be the day one.
Okay. So
Yep.
who will be the tutor? Is that me?
I'll be the tutor.
Oh,
Tanmay.
okay, sorry. Tanmay. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yep.
Because I was unable to see this course details on my portal. Also, I didn't get the lab credentials. So.
Okay, I can check with the team to get you the lab credentials. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Sanvi.
Yep. Okay,
Sanmay, can you do that for me as well with regard to the lab credentials?
Have you enrolled to the course?
Yes, I have.
Okay, just a moment. I'll write your names down. You were Clinton and Rupesh.
Rupesh Riker.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Sanmay, I think I have the lab access because I have joined earlier and I was not able to attend that course. So I just rejoined this course, but I just checked with my old credentials and it's working fine.
It's working. So Rupesh is the one who needs the access now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, no worries. I'll speak with the team and you'll get access today. Okay. Okay.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Arjun.
Yeah. Hi. May I know who is the art trainer? Because I recently joined. That's why I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Hi. I'm the trainee, Tanmay. If you have any
Sanmay.
questions, yeah.
Yeah. No. Only this is my first miss. Just I joined, so I only want to know. This is the first lecture, no?
Yes. This will be the day one of the PCNSE course. Okay. So everybody who all are drawing can stop drawing. Okay, let's start with what PaloAltoNetworks is all about. Okay. So PaloAltoNetworks is also known as PAN-W. So everybody can see my screen, right?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah,
I am able to
we can see.
It's visible.
But I don't know. I think we all can access your.
Correct. I think
you should be. I think block our.
You all can write everything. Like, can you please record this one, Sanmay?
Yeah, on the screen, so many people's writing and name is going up and down like that.
Yeah, just hold on. I'll try to delete these.
Yeah.
or you need to take out the control from outside.
Yep. Okay, let me try to figure this out.
Balu is very smart. Balu is very smart. Balu knows when you have tomato soup, reach in by the sweet. What we get? We get sodium from tomato soup. Yes.
Okay, just a second.
There is a huge issue of surrounding calls, sir.
Okay, everybody should mute themselves. Otherwise, you'll get echo. Okay, I'll share my screen again. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so there are different verticals in PAN-W. Palo Alto Networks is also known as PAN-W in short. So we have Strata, we have Prisma, and we have Cortex. Okay, what is Strata and Prisma and Cortex? And these are the logos. This was recently introduced by the Palo Alto Networks. These are three different realms of technologies.
Just not what is the just not what is the any meaning of that PAN-W is any full form or anything?
Yeah, definitely. This is the short form of Palo Alto Networks. Okay, we also say PAN-W.
Okay.
So you'll hear people saying this is PAN-W. So this is what Palo Alto. So this is not Palo Alto. This is complete Palo Alto Networks. So Palo Alto is the name of a place. Okay, so it's the name of the company is Palo Alto Networks. Okay, so your people will also say PAN-W. Okay. So they have three verticals: Prisma, Cortex, and Strata. Okay, I'll try to mute people. Yeah, thank you. Okay, this Strata is where the next-gen firewall lies. This covers next-gen firewall technology. This will have Panorama. Okay, this will have the VM series firewall, VM series, right? And Prisma. This is where SD-WAN is. Prisma SD-WAN. SD-WAN, Prisma Access, right? Prisma SASE. Now this was CASB solution of Prisma. There is also Prisma SD-WAN, Prisma Access, Prisma SASE. Yep. Cortex has Cortex Data Lake. It also has Cortex XDR. It also has XIM. And there are a lot of more other technologies that we are working on. It also has Prisma Cloud. Okay, so what are all of these things and what we will be covering? Okay, these technologies are very vast. Okay, this NGFW is the one that we will be covering in the PCNSE course. This is the main product of the Palo Alto Palo Alto Networks. Is the next gen firewall. This they built while in competition with the Checkpoint. Okay. Now the person who founded this Palo Alto Networks is named as Nirzuk. Now this guy, he was prior working with Checkpoint. He was working in Checkpoint, and then he left Checkpoint and built Palo Alto Networks. And now rest is history, since Palo Alto Networks has reached $100 billion mark already. Right? It is the first cybersecurity company to reach the $100 billion mark. Guys, only unmute yourself if you want to ask questions, please. Okay, so Palo Alto Networks is the first company to reach the $100 billion market cap, right? Now, Strata will also be covering.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Sanmay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Just regarding Prisma Cloud, is it synonymous to the SASE model that we hear about?
No, this is the SASE solution. This is the SASE solution. SD-WAN and Access combines the SASE solution.
Thank you.
So Prisma Cloud is basically your cloud security posture management tool, CSPM tool. So this helps you maintain your cloud security posture in maybe AWS and Azure and GCP. So it will monitor these three public cloud providers and will make suggestions accordingly. This is what Prisma Cloud does. Okay, so now Strata is NGFW, Panorama, and VM series. What is VM series? Now VM series is a virtual machine. Okay. Now Palo Alto Networks Firewall can also be deployed as a virtual machine inside of public cloud, or private cloud. Now public cloud is AWS. Okay, it can be deployed in AWS, it can be deployed in GCP, it can be deployed in Azure, it can be deployed in OCI. OCI is Oracle's solution, right? Now private is ESXi, the VMware ESXi. It can also be deployed in Hyper-V. Hyper-V is Microsoft's, and a lot more. Okay, so this is the Strata technology. This was the first technology that the Palo Alto Networks built. Okay, and it is also the most, now they call it the mature technology. This technology is called as mature technology. A lot of enhancements are happening in Cortex and Prisma first. Now this SD-WAN and Prisma access, this Prisma SD-WAN was previously known as CloudGenix. Okay. Now CloudGenix, Palo Alto Networks went to CloudGenix and they bought this company. Okay. They have the solution of SD-WAN. Now they renamed this to Prisma SD-WAN to complete their SASE solution. So now what is SASE? SASE is nothing but Secure Access Service Edge. Now this is broken up into two parts. Secure Access Service Edge combines the network as a service. Network as a service and security as a service. Security as a service. Now network as a service is given by SD-WAN or IPsec or GRE. And security as a service is given by Prisma Access. Okay. Again, let me try to mute.
Hello, Sunny, have you started recording? Is it finished?
Yeah, I'll start the recording. Just a sec. Okay, if you have any questions, just feel free to unmute yourself. I might not be able to look at the chat quite often. Okay. And just unmute yourself. Okay.
Can you just?
I'm sorry, Rupesh, you were asking the question.
Yes, I was just saying that. Can you please repeat what you spoke about, what you just said about SASE, the last part?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Okay. Now, SASE is Secure Access Service Edge. That's the full form of SASE. But what exactly is SASE? Now, guys, I won't be able to tell you if you keep unmuting yourself without having a question.
Hello. Sir, I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, we can use only firewall without router. Is it possible?
You want to use firewall without?
Without router. We can use only firewall in the organization without router. Is it possible?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. I'll come to that point, yeah. But let's cover the technologies that Palo Alto Networks support first, okay? We'll come to that, but that is possible.
Okay,
Let's
sir.
just say
Because,
that, okay?
because I work in this organization as a system administrator, sir. So the switches, Cisco switches and Cisco router and the support firewall. So I want information, is this without firewall, Cisco router firewall or Juniper router, we can use only firewalls from ISP to connect to the internet and
Yeah.
local site networks.
We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that, but you know, in big environments, what they usually do is firewall is the edge of the network and they connect to the edge router as well. Okay. Now the firewall is a software based device. Okay. It runs on an operating system and the processing is also done on the software because the software is intelligent. Now it can get slow. Okay. But router does the switching very fast. Like in Cisco, we have heard that we have heard the term A6, right? Application specific integrated circuit. So it's very fast when in terms of switching and routing. So that's the reason. So we have to use routers in big environments because the capability of a router is very fast in terms of routing. But firewall's basic job is to do firewalling, right? So that's why. So we can combine the work of both in a single firewall. That's why it's a next gen firewall. Okay. But yeah, if it's a very big environment, we definitely want to use a router. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what SASE is. So SASE is Secure Access Service Edge. Okay. Now, what is this Secure Access Service Edge or Secure Service Edge? You people say this term. Difference between Secure Access Service Edge and difference between Secure Service Edge. So a Secure Access Service Edge is the one that provides network as a service and security as a service. Now, network as a service is SD-WAN, IPsec. security as a service is security as a service. It provides features such as URL filtering, threat wildfire, right? DNS security, things like this, app ID. And based on that, we can protect the resources or the traffic. Okay. So this is what this is. If only this capability is given, then this is called as secure service edge. Now our secure service edge is Prisma access. Okay. Network as a service is given by CloudGenix, SD-WAN. That's why it is considered to be the complete solution, complete secure access service edge solution. Now, another competitor that we have is a very common competitor is Zscaler. One more competitor that has reached quite popularity is Netscope. Right, these are the other secure service edge solutions. Okay, other than that, we have Prisma SaaS. Now this has been integrated with Prisma Access to give CASB solution. Now this is CASB solution, Cloud Access Security Broker. This Prisma Cloud is cloud security posture management solution that we spoke about. Okay. Now this will monitor your public cloud environment and give you recommendations on how to better your posture, better your security posture on the public cloud. Yeah, guys, any questions?
Okay. I have a question. So you said you mentioned the acronym CASB. Is it so? It is the cloud Prisma Cloud which secures your AWS, Azure, and GCP, right? That is CASB.
No.
Okay.
That is the cloud security posture
Yes.
management solution. So Prisma, so CASB term is for SaaS applications. Okay, SaaS applications only.
The
What
ones
are
which you
SaaS
just
applications?
mentioned, URL filtering, threat, wildfire, DNS security, and app ID.
That is for Prisma Access. Okay, that is Prisma Access. That is our security cloud. Okay, so CASB is for only for SaaS applications. Okay, and what are SaaS applications like Microsoft Office 365? Okay, Zoom is SaaS applications. Anything that uses APIs, JSON applications, those are SaaS applications. Okay, like Box. So that security is provided by CASB. Right. Okay. Now, what is this? Okay, let me try to erase and make some space. Okay, this is enough. Okay, so this Cortex data lake, this will collect logs from the Palo Alto devices, collect logs. This is a cloud service. Okay, this XDR is an endpoint solution. XIM is a kind of a next gen SIM solution. This is a new technology or product by PaloAltoNetworks. I have not dealt with this technology a lot, these two, XDR and XIM. This is a completely different technology. I work mostly with Strata and Prisma. Okay, so this XDR is endpoint protection. This we compete with CrowdStrike in this segment. CrowdStrike, right? This is a quite popular endpoint protection. And data lake is the one that collect logs. So this is also called as log collector as a service. Log collector as a service. Okay, we'll understand this term in detail. What is log collector as a service? Okay, once we study what Panorama is all about, we'll get to know what this log collector as a service term is. Okay, now if you get your logs in Cortex data lake, right, you can directly view the logs in Cortex data lake, or you can view the logs in Panorama as well. Panorama as well. Okay, now Panorama will fetch the logs from Cortex data lake. Now Cortex data lake will not send the logs to Panorama. Panorama will always query the logs. Okay, so if you hear about the term, okay, Panorama will receive the logs, but if Panorama actually queries the logs from Cortex data lake. Okay, so it sends a query messages to Cortex data lake to fetch the logs. Okay, now there is one more term that is quite popular nowadays. Okay, it is SCM or Strata Cloud Manager. Right, this product has been built to manage both Strata and Prisma access. That's why it's quite popular, becoming quite popular. Now this product is completely different from the Panorama solution. Panorama can also be used to manage NGFW, right, VM series, and Prisma access, right? But SCM, why SCM is quite popular? Because SCM has unlimited capability. It is built in cloud, right? It is managed completely by the PaloAltoNetworks. You have to get a tenant for it. Just get a tenant for it, and you can manage all your firewalls. But for Panorama, you need to get a license for managed devices. There is a limited number of devices you can manage. Okay, things like that. And then you have to, there is a limited resource capability available. If you run a VM, oh, guys.
So you mean to say SCM doesn't require any licensing? Is that so?
No, it does require licensing. So there is a, what that license was? There is definitely a license. There is called a Premium AIOps license that is required for this SCM. Okay. Panorama also requires license, but since it is a cloud-based technology, the Strata Cloud Manager is a cloud-based solution. We don't have to manage the resources, right? We can build anything on it. That's the whole purpose of having a cloud service, right? We don't have to manage the resources. Now, if we have to deploy a Panorama, right, we have to know what are the exact system requirements for the Panorama if we are going to deploy it in the VM. And if we want to deploy the Panorama in a hardware solution, we have to know what is the logging capability of the Panorama, right? We have to know, okay, I have to buy a M700, or I have to buy a M300, or I have to buy a M100, things like that. Okay, there is no sizing associated. This SCM is Strata Cloud Manager. Okay, this is a cloud-based solution, cloud-based management solution, you can say. Okay, you can view the logs, you can manage your Strata devices and Prisma access devices on it, and it also makes recommendations. Okay, so let's call it a management solution.
Sir, with SCM, can we manage on-premises NGFW as well?
Yes. Okay. It's quite powerful.
Okay. So similar capabilities and features wise the same, SCM and Panorama.
Yes, SCM has a lot more capabilities than Panorama. So one difference currently is that using Panorama, we can deploy something called PANOS SD-WAN. Okay. Let me try to erase some of the work. Okay.
And Panorama has available in two OS VM based as well as virtual based as well as hardware appliances.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're talking about Panorama, right? So Panorama.
Yeah, Panorama.
Yeah, we can deploy it and we can buy it as a hardware solution or VM. Okay. So both require license. But if you want to deploy it any VM, okay, we need to be sure of the sizing of it. We need to be sure of the CPU that we want to associate with it, and RAM, okay, and logging disks we want to associate it with it. Okay, now this can be deployed in private cloud, or this can be deployed in public cloud. Now, what is private cloud and public cloud? Okay, private cloud is something that you own, you manage by yourself. Okay, this is mostly very popular in terms of VMware, like ESXi servers. Okay, and public cloud is anything that the cloud providers give, AWS, Azure, or GCP. Now, there is Oracle, but these three are the most popular and the big players. Okay, now this is the difference and where we exactly can deploy the Panorama solution. Now, Panorama will also help you to deploy SD-WAN solution. Now, this is PAN-OS SD-WAN. Now, there are two types of SD-WAN that Palo Alto gives. One is PAN-OS SD-WAN and one is Prisma SD-WAN. Now, there are so many solutions that the Palo Alto Networks is giving, right? What exactly it is trying to do? Now, Zscaler is just working on one of these things, right? It is not even working on next-gen firewall. It has a endpoint solution, but it's not quite popular, right? But if you consider the portfolio of Palo Alto, all these three solutions are doing very good. Okay, that's why it's such a huge organization. Now, SD-WAN is a software-defined WAN. Now, it provides something known as WAN optimization. Okay, now Prisma SD-WAN is a more advanced SD-WAN solution. Now, PAN-OS SD-WAN is a more secure SD-WAN solution. Okay, now it has more SD-WAN capabilities. This has more firewalling capabilities. Okay, this is the CloudGenix device. Now, CloudGenix term is not used anymore, but this is the organization that Palo Alto Networks bought this device from. Okay, they acquired this company. PAN-OS SD-WAN, if we talk about this is an inbuilt solution from PAN-OS. Okay, the NGFW will support this, the VM series will support anything on the public cloud or private cloud, this will support. Okay, for this, you have to get this Prisma SD-WAN device. Okay. Okay, this is what both of the Prisma SD-WAN solution that Palo Alto Networks offer. Now, Panorama, you need to have a Panorama if you want to deploy the PAN-OS SD-WAN solution. Okay, Prisma SD-WAN is a completely different technology, and there is a different type of deployment for Prisma SD-WAN. Okay. Now, this SD-WAN deployment, PAN-OS SD-WAN deployment, is not possible with the use of, currently it's not possible with the use of Strata Cloud Manager. Now, this is the only difference I see personally from the Panorama and Strata Cloud Manager in the terms of capability. But Strata Cloud Manager is way more capable than the Panorama. Now, it supports a lot of things, right? It will give you policy recommendations. Okay, policy recommendations in terms of best practices, what you should be deploying in your environment. Okay, in Panorama, you have to build each and every policy by yourself. Okay, everything is manual in Panorama. Now, this is automatic policy recommendations. Now, this is very useful for the big environments wherein they have 100+ firewalls and they want to keep their security posture and manage their security posture from a single pane of glass, single policy to all the firewalls, this is very useful. Okay. This is automatic policy recommendations. Yeah, this is automatic. I'm sorry. Could you come again, please? Yeah, this is automatic policy recommendation also, and this also gives you list of best practices that you need to push to your environment. Now this you can push to Prisma Access and your next gen firewalls both. Okay, the same policies, same best practice policies. This is the main features that the policies the SCM supports. Okay, now this will also, you will also be able to view the logs from the SCM. View logs from the SCM. This will fetch the logs from the Cortex data lake. Okay.
Sir,
now Panorama.
What are the products we are going to cover in this course, sir? Are we going to cover this SCM? Or
No,
only
we
Panorama?
will not cover. No, we will only cover Panorama. We will not cover SCM. We will cover Strata products. Yep. We will cover Strata products. That is NGFW. Now, why if we are only covering this NGFW product, why even I'm telling you that we have Cortex, we have Prisma, we have Strata, what is all this, right? You would be wondering. Now, this is important for you to know, right? If you're working on even the NGFW, or if you're working on even the Cortex, you might have interest in Cortex as well, right? You might want to know, okay, I want to learn Cortex XDR next. You should know at least what are all the technologies that PaloAltoNetworks give. Now, this is also important for the PCNSE exam, and that's what we want to prepare you for.
Yeah, just right? Basic overview, right? The Palo Alto products portfolios.
Yeah. This is the basic overview of the Palo Alto products.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now you can also view the logs from the Cortex data lake. Now this will give you logs like traffic logs and threat logs, URL filtering logs. All sort of logs will be visible on the Strata Cloud Manager. Now, it also expands the capabilities. For example, it will also give you how much feature you have adopted, something called as feature adoption. Okay. Now, for example, you have 1,000 policies, and out of those 1,000 policies, only 200 policies are app ID enabled. Now, this will give you a marking. Okay, your 20% rules or 20% of your security posture is app ID enabled, and this will give you recommendations on how to convert those rules to app ID. Okay, this is also very powerful. This will monitor your environment. This will monitor your environment and give you best practice recommendations. Okay, this BPA checks, that is called best practice assessment. This will do BPA checks on your environment and give you best practices, that if your devices are aligned with best practices or not.
Is this AI ML enabled, or is it just?
Yes. This was first called as AI Ops. This was first called as AI Ops. Now it has been rebranded to Strata Cloud Manager. Okay, this is AI enabled. Now this everything is everything doing with the help of AI. Okay, that's why it is giving so many recommendations, and that's the reason it sells so much. Okay, now in future, what I feel is Panorama will become obsolete, to be honest. Okay, but there are still a lot of customers that have deployed the Panorama solution. And it is built out of Panorama, right? And you should know how all of these things work. Only then you would be able to understand how this SCM solution works. All of this. Okay,
and sir, one question. Does Palo Alto has any IPS, IDS products?
Yeah, this is a next gen firewall. Okay.
Oh, the same
let's
thing does
okay,
for
so
both.
This NGFW, right? NGFW. Okay, this NGFW has IPS. Okay, this has IDS. This is IDS. Okay, Now this also supports remote access VPN. Remote access VPN. Remote access. Okay, this will also support IPsec. This will also support DOS. This will also support zone protection. Okay. Now all of these things are provided just by one device. That's the reason we call it next gen firewall.
DNS security and
yeah,
email.
DNS security, wildfire, yeah, wildfire, email security.
Okay.
All of this is inside of this IPS IDS.
Okay.
Okay, this. Okay, guys, any questions up till this point with different verticals in PAN-W? We understand what is Strata, what is Prisma, what is Cortex, right? Clearly. Any doubts over here? I want you guys to be sure about what are the different products. Okay, this will be part of the PCNSE exam. Okay. Okay, great. Now, where can we deploy this, right? Okay, let's try to understand where can we deploy this. Okay, deploy as physical appliance. What does this mean? So we can buy a hardware, right? We can buy a hardware and we can deploy it in our edge or deploy it in our core. Okay, this hardware or anywhere that we want, right? Okay, this hardware devices, this can vary to small remote offices, medium enterprises, or large enterprises. Okay, this small enterprises will have PA 400 devices. Okay, medium will have PA 1400. Okay, and then we have PA 3400. We have PA 5400. These are the latest firewalls, right? And there is also PA 7000 series. Okay, this is for the data center environments. PA. Okay, guys, I really don't want to listen to your family discussion. Right?
Hello. Sir,
Yeah, hi. Okay, yeah.
So, I know the topic can all services and protocols of the router on the firewall.
Could you type your question? Because I'm unable to understand you. I'm very sorry. Your voice isn't clear. Could you type your question?
Yes, I ask questions. Can all services and the protocols of the router be run on the firewall?
I would say yes and no both. Okay. Now your question is that all the services and capabilities of a router can be in the firewall or not, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I am a firewall guy, to be honest. Okay, I worked on routers as well, and the router has a lot of routing advanced BGP capabilities, right?
Yes.
Just a moment. Okay, let me. Okay, now router has a lot of advanced BGP capabilities. Okay, now this firewall will support a lot of routing protocols like BGP, OSPF, and RIP as well. Now, the BGP table, or there will be limitations with respect to the FIB table. Okay, if you are doing only routing on the firewalls. Okay, we are doing routing on the firewalls. We are doing security processing on the firewall, right? We are doing remote access VPN on the firewall, right? We are doing decryption on the firewall. Okay, you want to do so many things on the firewall, then eventually you have to buy this product, right? 5400, and this will cost you a lot of money. This is only, you are not just buying this product, you also have to buy the subscriptions of these products, right? The licenses. Now, when you're buying this product, to be honest, this is not a Fortinet product. It is not cheap. Okay, this is an enterprise grade device. Okay, now this will, so you'd have to buy the licenses. Now if you're getting this product, you would be expected to buy platinum support. Okay, platinum support, or at least a 4-hour support, because you'll be deploying this in your data center environment if it's so critical. Okay, then you'd have to buy all the license subscriptions like Wildfire, advanced threat prevention, advanced URL filtering, all sort of those licenses. Okay, and do decryption on this. So you'd have to understand if the firewall will be in, if the firewall will be able to handle so many sessions and do this routing capabilities, will be able to install this big fib table inside of its management plane or not, or data plane or not. So you have to understand the capabilities of the firewall and compare it with the router. Because you cannot compare it solely with a router, right? Router is just doing what it is doing. Router is a stateless firewall, right? You can do stateless firewalling on this. You can build ACLs on this. But this is a stateful firewall. It will build sessions. Okay, and there is limit to sessions. There is no limit to this stateless ACL, if I'm not wrong. Okay, there will be somewhere like 6 million sessions at max that this can support, something like that, or 60 million sessions. All the firewalls have different capabilities. Now you have to get into these discussion in order to gauge, okay, this routing capability is supported with the firewall capability. It's a very wide discussion, right? You can use it, but it completely depends on what other features you want to use. Okay, and whether that will get that will cost you deeply or not. Because if you use all of that and you are not able to use decryption, then you lose the visibility of 80% of your environment, right? You won't be able to do decryption. You lose 80% of the capability. Then you have to buy another device to do decryption. Then what is the point of doing all of this, right? So we don't usually mix capabilities in enterprise networks. Okay, if this is a small network wherein you have static routes, right, and you don't want to use BGP, then you can keep only PA440 at the edge of the network. That will do some static routing. It can also accommodate 2 ISP networks. Like I have this PA400 and this is ISP1, this is ISP2, right? And I can load balance between them. I can do a static, this will be my primary ISP and this will be my backup ISP, right? I can do PBF on this, policy-based forwarding. Now this is also known as PBR in Cisco terms, policy-based routing. Okay, we call it policy-based forwarding. Okay, these capabilities are available in the firewall as well. Okay, you can also, so there is a term IPSLA, right, on the Cisco, that you can monitor a destination. If that goes down, the route is discarded. You can also do something on something similar on the next gen firewall, PaloAltoNetworks. You can monitor a destination. If that doesn't work, you can fail back to the secondary ISP. So all of these things are supported. But what is the most important point that I want to say is you need to understand what exactly you want to do in your environment. Okay, and whether your firewall will reach its limit or not. That's the main point you want to understand.
Means then use lots of biggest network where use a BGP, EIGRP, SPF, lots of routings or load balancing in the networks. Then we use both firewall for security, policy-based routing, and router for the route clears where data transfer by the MPLS line or any other BTLS line.
Yeah. So usually what we do, this firewall, it is given a next hop as the router, and router is what it does all the routing. So the edge of the network are combined, both of these. Or nowadays what is happening, there is a firewall here and there is a SD-WAN device over here for WAN optimization, because nowadays router is not very capable in optimizing the WAN, right? So they have multiple links. Big organizations have multiple links. Now this will combine the capabilities. This will combine all the interfaces into one logical interface and will monitor the destinations. Based on that, it will forward the traffic. That is what SD-WAN is doing. Now, PAN-OS next gen firewall also supports SD-WAN. This is the reason it supported, they build the capability of SD-WAN so that they can remove the purpose of having this router in front of it, right? And transfer all the things into one solution. Then you can have the firewall and build these many links into one logical interface on the firewall itself. But again, you need to understand that your firewall is not for all of these things, right? Your firewall can do all of these things, but at the end, you need to understand if whether the firewall will reach its limit or not. Okay, you have to understand how much is the fib table limit of it. If you install so many BGP entries into this firewall might reach to its limit. But the router's job is to actually accept a lot of fib entries. I would think this will have more capability of routing in it than what firewall does. Okay.
Sir, are we going to?
Sir,
Are
one
we going
question
to?
related to this? One question related to this. The ISP line will first connect to the firewall or router. When my organization takes ISP lines, then we connect in the firewall firstly, and then firewall or router firstly, then firewall.
So it completely depends on which enterprise environment you're working with. So I have seen all sort of deployments, right? So firewall will, where currently what I see even in large enterprises nowadays is firewall will directly connect to the ISPs. Okay, if it's in the core of the network, if it's a 5400 device or a 7000 series device, okay, now this will be sitting inside the core of the network. Okay, and then the firewall will be talking to the switches, upstream switches. These will be aggregate interfaces. This will be talking to the switches, and then ISP will be connected to the switches, layer 3 switches. This is what currently is happening in big environments. Okay, now if you're talking about in small environments, what is happening, you keep a PA440 device. Okay, PA440 device is quite capable, right? It has all the security features. Or you keep a PA1400 device. This is also quite capable. You can directly connect it. If you just have one ISP, then you don't need BGP on it.
Yes.
BGP will only be required if you have two ISPs, right?
Yes.
And that too, you can do static routing for both of them, and you can do load balance on both of them. You can do primary and secondary on both of them without using BGP. BGP will only complicate things. Okay, so most small enterprises will not be using this BGP protocol. Okay, this is only being used by ISP providers inside of core network. Okay, or very, very, very large enterprises. Most of them are just using static routing on the firewalls, next gen firewalls. They are just doing a default route on one ISP, maximum two if they are having it on their main data center. Okay, so it's just basically one ISP directly connecting to the firewall. Okay, these are the two different scenarios that
Sir, one
are
question:
happening
Are we going to have deployment discuss on deployment scenario on use cases?
We can discuss that if the time permits. Okay, but I need to cover the course content first.
No,
okay, the
not today.
PCNSE.
I'm not saying today, but in the course, do you have any touch base on this? Real
as
time,
we
how this deployment cases or use cases based on the use cases.
So when we will do labs, I will make sure that I give you my deployment experience as well along with the labs, and I'll give you some recommendations of troubleshooting as well that will help you during live scenarios. So that will be discussed. Yeah.
And one more thing is the products capabilities and portfolios about the NGFW. I mean, which firewall has what capabilities and which scenario we are going to use that.
So that is a sales discussion. Okay, that is a sales discussion. We might not be covering that, but a basic overview of what firewalls
technical
we have.
perspective.
Okay.
So technical perspective, what is the capabilities of each product?
Yeah,
right, and what products would be fit for what kind of in enterprise, small, large, big, in that context.
So if you go to Google Chrome right now or Google search right now and you just type in PA400 data sheet and PA5400 data sheet, you will get all the capabilities of the firewall. Now, the basic question that the enterprises will ask to you is, what is the throughput of the firewall, or what type of interfaces are supported on the firewall, right? These are the basic questions that they will ask. Okay, does it support SSL decryption? How much throughput does it support with decryption enabled and threat protection enabled, IPS IDS enabled? These are the basic questions that enterprises usually ask. But you will get all this information on the site. And while deploying the next gen firewall, if you have come to the deployment phase of the next gen firewall or the Palo Alto product, the selling has already happened. Okay, so you should be more focused on knowing the product, what is its capability, and how you can help the client make best use of the next gen firewall or the Palo Alto product.
Okay.
Okay, but if you want, we can cover that in a brief manner, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, as per your experience, and you have done so many deployment, right? So, what just have a basic idea that in this scenario, one particular scenario, how you decide that what kind of or which model should we recommend?
So yeah, so we don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't recommend. So Palo Alto has a very big team. Palo Alto has a very big team. I do deployments. I've done deployments for the team, but usually the sales engineers, there is accounts team and the pre-sales team. Those are the ones who are making sales. Okay. Now, if you are already worked with a client, they might already be having a particular firewall in their environment, like for example, Checkpoint or Fortinet, or even Cisco SA. I've done a lot of migrations from Cisco SA. Everybody is migrating from Cisco and Checkpoint nowadays. So you already have a device in the customer environment, right? So you have an idea of how many sessions they are utilizing and what is their max peak capacity, right? So you usually ask the customer, okay, during your peak time, how many users will be present? During the peak time, what was the maximum number of sessions in the Checkpoint firewall? So you will get an idea. Okay, for 6 million sessions, I need this firewall. And it needs to have a 40 gig interface enabled, or it needs to have a 100 gig interface enabled. If you want to have a 40 gig interface or 100 gig interface, that is not supported in a PA400. So you have to upgrade, right? So these are the things that you will, they will be part of discussion, right?
Okay, got it, sir. Got it. So it's purely based on the requirement, customers' requirements, right? So,
yeah, definitely. Everything is there is a lot of questions. So whenever there is a technical discussion, right, there is always a lot of probing that is done. Okay, you will hear this term in TAC a lot of times. So probe. So if anybody comes to you that, okay, this URL filtering engine is not working on your firewall, what are you going to do? So you will ask questions, a lot of questions. Have you implemented this before? Okay, is this the first time that you are deploying it? Okay, where is it deployed? Okay, you'll check the policy. Okay, you'll check the monitor tab. Okay, you'll take captures. You'll make sure if you'll go to urlfiltering.paloaltonetworks.com. Okay, which URL is the guy visiting? Is it blocked? Is it allowed? What exactly is the firewall doing? Okay, you'll check the session on the firewall. So there is a lot of probing that happens in a technical discussion. Okay.
Sir, I have a questions.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, actually, we have also used FortiGate and Juniper, and currently we are using Checkpoint. So, what is the differences in Palo Alto also?
Yeah, so that is where is a technical discussion. So that's what I don't do sales, to be honest. There might be a lot of differences in FortiGate, Checkpoint, and Palo Alto, but how we sell the Palo Alto Next Gen Firewall bases on the app ID database. Okay, so there are three main components of the firewall that we do selling with. Okay. Now, we were the one that built this SP3 architecture. Okay, single pass architecture, right? Now this is the main selling point of our product, and we also do selling based on the app ID. Nowadays everybody is doing app ID, right? But our app ID has been there since a lot of time. I think 2006, somewhere around that. Our app ID has been in the industry for that much time, and our app ID is the most advanced, right? And we also support something as called the user ID, right? We also support content ID. Okay, these are the three main features that we support. Moreover, there is also zero day prevention that we support, that is called as Wildfire. So these are the selling points. Okay, now every firewall will have their selling points. Okay, FortiGate will have their selling point, but I've not worked with Fortinet. Okay, Checkpoint will have their selling point. Okay, but to be honest, what I think is the main reason why the PaloAltoNetworks is selling is it is very easy to use. Okay, the GUI is very intuitive. So you can do a lot of things on the GUI itself. Okay, and you can troubleshoot almost 90% of your issues from the GUI. You don't have to go to CLI. Okay, that's why it sells. Okay, in terms of I think Checkpoint, there is a lot of things that you have to do from the CLI. But in the Palo Alto Firewall, the upgrade process is very simple, right? The dynamic updates is very simple. So these are the things that people also keep in mind. And if once they use the Palo Alto Firewall, they will never go back because it's very easy to use. The GUI is very superb. GUI is impressive. Okay, so the same reason, right? And we have like Linux devices, right? And we have MacBook, Mac OS, and we have Windows. Okay, Linux is hard to use, right? And Windows is easier to use. MacBook is very user friendly. That's why it sells so much. That's the main selling point as well. Plus, it has the performance, good performance as well. But the main point is that MacBook is very easy to use. That's why it sells so much. Okay, these are all the things that you keep in mind while buying a product or selling a product. Hope that answers your question. Okay, guys, any other question?
No, Sanmay.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we have we can deploy this NGF. Now this we are doing Strata. Let's be clear. Okay, this is Strata product. Okay, this is not Prisma or Cortex, but we need to understand all of these things. Okay, what exactly are these things? So Strata, we can deploy the NGFW as a physical device. We can deploy this as a virtual appliance in private cloud. We can also deploy this in public cloud, AWS, okay, GCP, and Azure. These are the three common deployment models that you will see, but it can also be deployed in the Oracle cloud. We will see where exactly and what are the different capabilities that it supports. Okay. Now you can also deploy it in the private cloud, ESXi, hypervisor. This is called Hyper-V from Microsoft. This is VMware. Okay. And deploy it as physical appliance. Okay. If you have a physical appliance, you can replace it using the physical appliance based on the capability that you want. Okay. Now you will ask me, this PA440 supports the same security features as PA5400. Okay, this is the selling point, right? So there will be small customers as well, right? There will be very large enterprises as well. Okay, even the largest enterprise will have small regional offices. Okay, Now those regional offices will need small devices. Okay, so we need to sell accordingly. But both of the capabilities are the same. What I mean by the capabilities is both will support IPS IDS like App ID, Content ID, User ID, Wildfire. Everything will be supported on both of them. It's just that the throughput is increased. The interface level is increased. Okay, this will be only software-based inspection. This will be hardware-based inspection as well. Okay, there is something called as FPGA. If anybody has heard this term FPGA, okay, this is a hardware field programmable gate array. Okay, now what is this field
processing
programmable
technology,
gate array?
processing
Yeah.
socket technology. Yeah.
So what is this doing? So everybody uses this, right? FPGA. So we get a chip, okay, we design it anyhow we want to. Okay, we put signatures on it. For example, we put App ID or Content ID signatures on it. Right now, this is the data plane of the firewall. Okay, now this is the FPGA, for example. Now this is not happening in all of the firewalls. This is only happening on the big firewalls like 5400 or 3400 bigger ones or 7000 series. Now the data plane will get a request to process a packet. Okay, now it tries to see if the data length or the layer 7 length is between a defined area. Okay, if yes, it will send that traffic to the FPGA for inspection. Okay, now FPGA is very fast. FPGA is faster than the data plane because the data plane is where the PAN-OS runs. And FPGA is a field programmable gate array. This is, we have programmed it to hold signatures or do some, you can say low level tasks, not very intelligent tasks. This is not intelligent processing. Okay, this will do signature matching for us. This is what field programmable gate array does. This will offload that task to the field programmable gate array. Now, doing this, data plane will get off-burdened, some off-burdened, right? Because otherwise, if data plane is doing all of this job, data plane CPU will go high, right? And there will be all sort of problems. Like if data plane goes high, there will be routing flaps in your environment. HF flaps in your environment. Okay, you will experience latency in your environment. Okay, there will be packet drops in your environment. Now usually you will not understand what is happening. First, you will not understand what is happening because there is a very large enterprise, right? And if in case you have not enabled proper logging of the firewall, you will not even get a system log in your SIM tool that DP is under severe load. That is what the firewall usually generates. Okay, so trying to troubleshoot this is a next level job, to be honest. This is where the advanced stack engineers come into picture. Okay. Now this is the entire difference between, okay, if I'm buying the PA440 or if I'm buying a PA5400. Okay, you get the parallel processing hardware.
आ गया
Do you have any question, Raja?
जगह था क्या लेके आओ कुछ
Sanmay, I had a question.
Yep.
Okay. So my question would be very, very basic. So yeah. So like, are we going to learn further, like, the components or the internal architecture of the firewall? Like, how, when we learn Cisco, right? They usually tell us that there is RAM, ROM, there is something called as running config, startup config, where it is located. There's NVRAM, what holds in the NVRAM. There is something called as VLAN.dat file. So I'm talking in the routing perspective. Yeah, because I'm not much aware of the firewall thing. That's the reason I'm asking you.
Yeah, so that is basically, you don't have to understand all of that if you want to clear the exam. Okay, let me be clear. And this is more focused on the PCNSE exam. Okay, but if you're interested in knowing this, all of these things, internal architecture and everything, I can tell you whatever is present on internet, right?
Yeah.
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 So
For knowledge
example,
perspective, that's what.
yeah. For example, what is the file structure of the Palo Alto, right? So we have the root partition, and what kind of partition does the Palo Alto has, right? And where exactly are the logs stored? Where exactly are the management logs stored? And where is the config stored? Okay. Now we'll get into everything, how commit works. Okay.
Okay.
Now how commit works. Okay. What is running config? What is candidate config? We'll understand everything.
Okay.
That
Okay.
will be now you will we will not leave any gaps. Okay. So
thank you.
Are we going to discuss about the SP3 the architecture as well?
We will discuss about the packet flow of the firewall. That's how the SP3 architecture works.
All right.
Okay, that's based on the SP3 architecture. Now, this what I just told over here, this is also part of the SP3 architecture. Okay, so there is not just this is SP3 architecture. All these components together work in the SP3 architecture. So this SP3 architecture is just doing single pass inspection. Okay, all the security components are checked in a single pass. So let's not complicate all of these things. Okay, so these are selling terms, this SP3 and ZTNA. Okay, you're hearing this term quite often right now, ZTNA. Okay, zero trust, and SP3 and 0-day prevention, next gen CASB. These are selling terms. Let's not complicate these terms, right? And even public cloud, right? This public cloud service is just a data center owned by someone else, and you are using a device. If I own multiple racks at my place, and I give you a service out of that, it will be a cloud service for you. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we don't want to complicate things. Try to keep things as simple as possible. Only then you'll be able to remember it. Otherwise, you'll go haywire, because there is a lot of technology that is changing quite often. But the base perspective is always the same. That's my recommendation to you. Okay. Okay. Now, if we understand this SP3 architecture in detail, there will be more confusion. Then there will be no point. But in basic form, it is doing all these processing engines in a single pass. Okay, this traffic is passed to all those inspection at once. Okay, so that if app ID cannot block it, the URL filtering will block it. Okay, this is what the single pass power is in simple terms. Cool. Okay, let me take a look at the time. Just a minute, guys. Okay, now we understand what is a physical appliance, what is virtual appliance, and what is virtual appliance in private and public cloud. Now, there is one more deployment you will see, but it is not very common. Okay, that is called CAN series. Okay, we will not be covering this since I have never seen this in my entire career. This is only 0.1% of the customers that use it. It is very, very less common. Okay, this is a containerized environment solution. Okay, so if you're using a containerized solution, you can deploy the next-gen firewall in a container. So that is what CN series is all about. But it will also support all these capabilities. Okay, you just have to know there is something called a CN series. Okay, all the things you have to know about. But basically, these are the three top used in the environment, and which you will be seeing AWS, private cloud and public cloud and physical appliances, very common. Okay, now we talk about private cloud and public cloud. So you will say, okay, sir, we have PA 400 in physical appliance according to our requirement, and we have 5400 based on our requirement if we need 100 gig interface or 40 gig interface, right? In private cloud or public cloud, we don't have something like that. We just have VM series. We just have VM series. Okay, previously, what they were doing is we used to have something called as VM 50, okay, and VM 100, VM 300, up to VM 700. So this created a perspective, okay, if I need VM 50, this will be supported. Okay, if we need VM 700, this will be for more capability. When I say more capability, it is not like VM 50 will not support App ID. It is only to do with the throughput of the firewall. Okay, the amount of the inspection it can do. Okay, now this has been changed. This has been changed to the VM Flex. Okay, now this is just VM series. Okay, this is just VM series, and this is just VM series. And you basically assign vCPUs to it, and you also assign RAMs to it. Based on that, you try to get an idea, okay, this is the capability equivalent to VM 700. Okay, now in order to deploy a VM 700, you have to get, for example, 128 of CPUs, vCPUs, and then RAM of 64 GB, for example. Okay, so you have to understand, if you have to build a similar capability, you need similar vCPUs and similar sort of RAM. Okay. Now the licensing models has changed as well. This you had to buy a license, VM license for. Now this has been completely moved to software credits. They call it as software credits. Now every VM device will be having a software credit. If you have a VM device, right, and you want to build a Global Protect license on it, you need to have a software credit for that. Okay. Now, for example, I have 100 software credits and I have 2 VM firewalls. And I want to run GP on this, but I don't want to run GP on this. I can do that based on software credits. But if I was running a VM series or legacy license model, I'd have to purchase the entire portfolio for both. Okay, this is the main advantage of the software credits. So these are the little things that in the exam they might ask.
In this we will cover PCNSE and NSA, right? Both.
Yep. So let me try to bring this over and show you. Okay. Let me try to. So you see this?
Yes.
Yep. Now you see intended audience, anyone who uses Palo Alto Networks product, including network security engineers, systems engineers, support engineers, right? So this particular thing, if you talk about, we are going to cover firewall essentials, we are going to cover Panorama, and we are going to cover some troubleshooting. This is optional. It says this is optional but helpful as well, because if you're going to deploy it, you need to understand if there are issues, how do you want to resolve it? Okay, and it is also recommended that you have some hands-on experience, 6 to 12 months of hands-on experience of deploying and configuring the product. Okay, now I suggest after this course, you should have at least 3 months of hands-on experience. Okay, go and revise the course again, and then give the exam. Okay, my recommendation is directly go for PCNSE, but you can go for PCNSA as well. This is an associate level certification. This is a beginner level certification. Okay, this is advanced level certification. Now this covers 3 topics: EDU 210, EDU 220, and there was one more, EDU 330. Okay, this PCNSA, this is only covering EDU 210. Now there will be, so 220 and 330, if we talk about, this is everything on Panorama. This is everything on troubleshooting. Now EDU 210, this is everything with firewall essentials. So this is an easier exam. Yeah. Okay. This is the only difference between this PCNSE exam and PCNSA exam.
Hey, silent.
Thank you.
Yep. Just a moment. So this EDU 210, 220 is also available on the internet for free, right? It is a self-paced course on Beacon.
Sanmay, sorry to interrupt you. If in case somebody is looking for the videos, we already delivered these all modules EDU. Okay, so the video is available with the networkings. So the people who enrolled for the course for Palo Alto, they if you raise a request to our team, they'll add this EDU to all 3 modules as in pre-recorded.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have already enrolled for Network Engineer Master Program. I have completed 2 courses, and I just request for Palo Alto. Can you add me these courses?
Guys, this is not the right time to discuss this. Something that you can discuss with the counselor and the support teams.
Okay.
Okay, so after the class, we'll drop an email. You can check with the team.
Yeah, I have already dropped an email. Please check and
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hello, this is Anup. May I know who's the host?
Host means you're talking about trainer or the person?
No,
networking?
yeah, you are.
My name is Gaurav.
Gaurav. Okay, Gaurav. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, Gaurav, there were candidates who wanted to have access to the lab. They have enrolled in the course, but they're saying they have not got the lab access. So who can they reach out to?
I'll just check each and everything. And guys, the people who already enrolled from tomorrow onward, they have to access the class from Learn portal. Learn.nw Kings, you have to follow, and in my courses you can see this Palo Alto course is there, and under that only you're getting an option to join the live classes.
Sir, I have got the portal, but I am unable to join the live classes. Actually.
No, today's session is webinar, so webinar means that is not there. But from tomorrow you have to start you have to join from the Learn portal only.
Okay, thank
under
you,
the
sir.
portal, under the class.
Understood.
Understood.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, what will be the duration course per? I mean, this is a weekend batch, right?
Yeah, correct. This is a weekend batch, so duration we cannot decide based on your how you guys are learning. If you're on fast track, we can finish in 2 months also. Sometimes it goes 2.5 months also. See, intent is not to finish the batch on fast track. Intent is whether who join this batch, they understand the concept or not.
Okay. And so on Saturday and Sunday, how many hours we will have to spend? I mean, 4 hours? Or
Today we delivered around 1.5 hours. Again, tomorrow 2.5 or 2 hours. 1.5 or 2 hours maximum. And from next weekend, Let's do it around 2.5 hours on Saturday and 2.5 hours on Sunday.
Gaurav, one question.
Yeah.
Which rack is Sanmay going to use? Means the labs will be visible on which rack? Is it 8088?
After 8088 is the for Palo Alto, but still like I have to check. Sanmay, which racks you are using? 8088 or what?
I think it was 8089. Let me check again.
Okay, so what I'll do, guys, I'll just map your credential with the Sanmay lab so that you guys are on the same page. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
8099.
And Sanmay, you can create a one folder with your name, and under that you can create all the topologies and all, so that is visible to these guys.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm yet to do all of that.
Correct.
Gaurav, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, so this is Rupesh. How do I know whether I've been given lab access? Would I be getting an email or something like that?
So let's take an example, Rupesh. You enrolled for Palo Alto. So once we are sending a credential later to your portal, the same time the lab credential is there. If in case it's not there, there are some people who enrolled for the combo courses. So they guys are getting the day the class start.
Okay, so I actually enrolled for the combo class actually, Cisco and Firewall.
Okay, so that means today or maximum by tomorrow you are getting a lab credential.
Okay.
Okay,
fine.
so
Yeah,
keep an eye on your email.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So Gaurav, is it for today?
Sorry?
We can wrap up for today, or you want
Yeah,
to
right.
continue?
Let's wrap up, and from tomorrow, guys, timing is 11, not 10.
Okay.
So 11 o'clock tomorrow, same time.
Means next week timing would be the 11 or 10.
No, tomorrow we have a class, not next weekend or same 11 o'clock only.
From now onwards, timing would be the 11, right?
11, yes, correct.
So tomorrow would it be for 1.5 hour or would it be for 2 hours? Just asking.
1.5 hours or 2 hours in between.
We'll take 2 hours because there is a lot
and
of
even guys,
content.
I shared if in case somebody is not enrolled, they can WhatsApp and they can enroll for tomorrow class. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Gaurav, hello, Gaurav.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you make one WhatsApp group so that if any updates are, we can
Of course. I'll create a one community where we all can interact.
Please.
But yes, for initial classes we cannot create because there are some people who not enrolled. So like after 1, 2, 3 classes, I'll create a WhatsApp group. Don't worry. Okay.
Fine. Great. Thanks.
So thanks, guys.